welcome to an art video. This week the theme continues to be colored pencils. I promise that not all my videos will be about colored pencils. It's just that I happen to do a lot of my own art with colored pencil, and I've developed a fascination with art and artists that also use them. Colored pencils have widely been looked down upon by the fine art community. Even now, with some of the amazing art and the talented artists making it, it's not taken as seriously. If you enjoy this content, I make videos every Saturday about art. History, styles, mediums, artists. If it relates to art, I want to learn more about it and pass what I learn on to you. Now, I'm no expert and I have no advanced degree. What I am is an art fan making fan videos. People make videos about Star Wars and other pop culture subjects, so why not geek out on art? That's every Saturday at noon Central. If you enjoy painting or drawing or doing any other arts or crafts, you can join me here on Wednesday evenings, where I'll be working on a piece of art and hanging out live. In my last video, I talked about Caran d'Ache luminance colored pencils, which were released in 2010. Colored pencils as a medium are a fairly recent invention and have just really started gaining popularity in the 2000s. Many of the techniques used by colored pencil artists today have been developed over the past 20 years. The ancient Greeks and Romans had colored wax crayons to draw with. They were much like the crayons we have today. Colored oil pastels that were cased in wood were developed by Stadler in 1834. They were colored and they were pencils, but they were very different than the colored pencils we're using today. The ones we use today were invented in the 1920s, although the 2000s have seen great improvement in the quality of their pigments. One of the earliest colored pencil drawings I found was called Side View of a Boy, and it was by English artist James Ramsay, who lived from 1786 to 1854. Charles Samuel Keene, an English artist who lived from 1823 to 1891, created this somewhat problematic piece with colored pencil. It's called Signs of the Zodiac, Scorpio the Scorpion. Inscribed on the back are the words, "A man seated, surrounded by Negroes, attacked by a scorpion." A lot of art from the 17 and 1800s reflects the disturbing level of racism that was prevalent in society at the time. Today, a collector can find many examples of drawings from the 18 to 1900s in mixed media and colored pencil at auction houses, galleries, and other sellers online. This anonymous and amusing piece was created around 1900. Pablo Picasso used those prototype colored pencils for sketching. His drawing of a dancer from 1900 features a nice bold red. Colored pencils like the ones we use today were invented in the 1920s. They were not as highly pigmented and mainly used as a sketching material. There was no layering and blending like you see in colored pencil art today, and they were frequently used in mixed media. Here are 3 examples of early 20th century works of art that used colored pencil. They are by Reynolds Beale, Emil Orlik, and Lajos Kazak. Just like from the 1800s, you can find a lot of anonymous artwork from the 20th century for sale online. For example, this lovely colored pencil drawing. In 1947, Jackson Pollock created his only titled work. War, as he called it, was created using colored pencils and ink. Although he is best known for his paint-splattered canvases, he was quite an accomplished draftsman. Saul Steinberg was an artist from the mid-20th century. He used colored pencil, pastel, and Conte to create whimsical and amusing illustrations. He was frequently on the cover of the New Yorker magazine from 1945 to 2014. Marisol Escobar was an artist creating during the pop art movement of the 1960s, although her style makes her unique. She inserted her own form into her work, mainly her hands. When she was 11, her mother committed suicide, and Marisol almost completely stopped speaking until she was in her mid-20s. She was also a religious fanatic to the point of self-harm. Her art comes off the canvas as if to bring you physically into her world. She used colored pencil and plaster to create 3D works of art. In 2018, a painting by David Hockney, created in 1972, sold at Christie's for $90 million. It's called Portrait of an Artist, Pool with Two Figures. He is still alive today and is quite the dapper English gentleman. He's been on best dressed lists in both GQ and Vanity Fair. He has embraced digital art late in life. These colored pencil portraits are more character studies, showing the emotions of the subjects. The first art I could find that looks like a precursor to today's style was done by Darrell Hill in 1980. He seems to have preferred painting plants and landscapes from Hawaii, but he did a few still lifes, including one called Distorted and Normal Reflection. He captured the depth of a near-mirror surface with saturated darks and colors that hints at a modern use of colored pencils. A search for colored pencil art of the 1990s uncovered two very different artists. I immediately recognized the work of one of them. Back in 1935, an artist named Virgil Ross was hired to work on Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. He drew 1940's A Wild Hare, which was the first appearance of Bugs Bunny. These are colored pencil drawings from the 90s. The other colored pencil art I found for the 1990s was created by a local artist from right here in my hometown of Austin, Texas. Her name is Amanda O'Brien, and she created vibrant, scribbly, layered drawings that show off the qualities of colored pencil. She's still doing art today, although right now she's focused on intricate embroidery work. Beginning in the early 2000s, new techniques were being explored by colored pencil artists. Layering, blending, and burnishing helped create art that was much less sketchy and more rich like a painting. Solvents, like odorless mineral spirits, were found to break down the binders in colored pencil, leaving behind the pigment on paper much like paint. A powdered blending agent was developed, which helped create seamless blends. All these new techniques help move colored pencil art away from the realm of drawings and more towards the realm of fine art paintings. An artist named Cecile Baird perfected techniques to capture the glow and translucence of fruit and other objects in light. She published a book called Painting Light with Colored Pencil in 2005. Another popular book about colored pencil art is called The Colored Pencil Painting Bible by Alyona Nickelson, published in 2009. She is able to get rich colors and amazing reflections in her studies of fruit, and her portraits seem to capture the personality of the subject. There are a lot of colored pencil artists today creating gorgeous works of art that rival any oil painting. Many colored pencil artists refer to their final product as paintings rather than drawings because it really better describes the end result. Here are several colored pencil artists creating today. These are my inspirations and my favorites, the ones that make me want to get better. All of those artists and many more are pushing the boundaries and creating art with colored pencils in new and exciting ways. Now that companies that make colored pencils have started taking the light fastness of their pigments seriously, colored pencils can join more traditional media like oil paints and pastels and be considered real art materials. The art world is still full of snobs that look down on colored pencils, but the photos I showed you prove that colored pencils can make gorgeous art that rivals any painting. Join me next Saturday when I leave colored pencils behind and talk about two art styles and the differences and similarities between them, hyperrealism and surrealism. Can surrealism be hyperrealistic? Can hyperrealism be so real it becomes surreal? Let's explore these subjects and look at examples of art through history. A huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, Aaron, Bill, John, Ann, and Sabra. Your support is going to keep me going. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like art videos. And ring the bell for notifications. Apparently, if you don't ring the bell, you never find out about videos, so that's a thing. Join me on Wednesday evenings for live streaming and do art along with me, and every Saturday at noon when I present to you a video about art.
5, 6, 7, 8.